Do you know what punishment Xun Er gave Xiao Yan after she found out about his affair with Medusa? It was merely a seal left on Xiao Yan's chest. Continuing from the previous chapter, because Xiao Yan killed 2 members of the Soul Clan, Hunli and Hunya, the black-robed elder of the Soul Clan now demands Xiao Yan's life in retribution. Elder Tongshuan's brow furrowed slightly, his voice deep. Hunlin, this is the realm of the Gu clan, not your soul realm. The elder known as Hunlin responded angrily, Tongxian, our people from the Soul Clan have perished here, and you cannot escape responsibility. Xun Er's cold gaze swept over Hunlin and his companion, and she spoke indifferently. The heavenly tomb is inherently perilous, and no one can guarantee a safe departure. If you have no evidence to prove that Brother Xiao Yan is the murderer, please do not act recklessly. After all, this is the territory of our Gu clan. Within the heavenly tomb, the 2 from the Soul Clan attempted to ambush me and the people of the Gu clan, and you will need to account for this as well. Hunlin, is what Xun Er saying the truth? Elder Tongshuan's expression gradually turned ugly as he stared at the 2 from the Soul Clan and said sternly. Seeing that Xun Er had turned the tables on them, Hunlin and his companions' faces also changed slightly. They did not expect that the 2 from the Soul Clan would be so bold as to attack Xun Er and the others within the heavenly tomb. However, under these circumstances, they obviously could not admit it, so they said coldly, "You are being sophistical, merely trying to deflect suspicion. Although we are in the realm of the Gu clan today, and can do nothing about it, Xiao Yan, remember that the grudge of the 2 from the Soul Clan will be avenged by our clan in the future." Xiao Yan's face was calm as he said indifferently, "I will remember your words." Hunlin and his companion, seeing such a look in Xiao Yan's eyes, became even colder, but they understood that even without considering the people of the Gu clan, just Xiao Yan, whose strength had greatly increased, was not someone they could easily capture. They could only wave their hands, grab the bodies of the 2 from the Soul Clan, turn into 2 shadows, and rush towards the exit of the realm of the Gu clan. Xiao Yan looked at the receding figures, a cold flash in his eyes, then turned to look around carefully, only to find that little fairy doctor and others were no longer there, which made him frown slightly. If there was no special situation, little fairy doctor and the others would definitely wait for him. Could something have happened to the falling star pavilion? Beside him, Elder Tongxian quickly came to Xun Er's side and asked, "Xun Er, are you all right?" Upon hearing this, Xun Er shook her head slightly. "Where are little fairy doctor and the others now?" Xun Er asked. Elder Tongxian pondered for a moment and said, "They left 3 months after you entered the heavenly tomb, probably back to the falling star pavilion. However, they did not reveal the specific situation, only saying that if you came out, you should return as soon as possible." Hearing this, Xiao Yan frowned, then looked at Xun Er and said, "It seems that something might have happened, and perhaps I can't stay in the Gu clan for too long this time. Do you plan to leave with me?" However, just as Xun Er was about to agree, Elder Tongxian hurriedly interrupted, "Xun Er, there is a major event in the clan recently, and you absolutely cannot leave the realm of the Gu clan." "What happened?" Xun Er asked. Elder Tongxian hesitated for a moment, glanced at Xiao Yan, and said softly, "The Ling realm has suddenly closed." Hearing this, both Xiao Yan and Xun Er were shocked, especially Xun Er, whose face suddenly became tense. "It's the Ling clan," Xiao Yan realized after pondering for a moment. Xun Er frowned and asked, "The Ling realm should be the place where the Ling clan, one of the 8 ancient clans, is located. Why did the Ling realm suddenly close? No wonder the Ling clan did not send anyone to this trip to the heavenly tomb." Elder Tongxian said with a frown, "We sent strong people to investigate, but there was no news. The space where the Ling realm was originally located has completely disappeared, and even some elders went to explore and did not find any traces, as if the Ling realm has completely hidden itself. The clan leaders are investigating this matter with all their strength. If the Ling clan really encountered some kind of disaster, we must also be on high alert. So during this period, you cannot leave the realm of the Gu clan." Xun Er lightly pursed her lips, and her face also looked solemn. This was the first time in so many years that she had heard that a clan of the same ancient race would seal and hide their space. "Xun Er, since it's not the right time, you might as well stay in the realm of the Gu clan," Xiao Yan said with a frown. Xun Er hesitated for a moment, then nodded gently and said, "Then Brother Xiao Yan, you must be more careful outside." "Don't worry," Xiao Yan replied. "Haha, today, please stay in the realm of the Gu clan for one night, and tomorrow our Gu clan will send all of you out of the realm together," Elder Tongxian said with a smile. Xiao Yan had no objections to Elder Tongshuan's arrangement and immediately nodded his head. The moonlight poured down from the sky like water. In front of a bamboo house in the quiet and lush mountains, Xiao Yan stood with his hands behind his back, feeling a bit melancholic. Although only half a year had passed in the outside world, he had spent 3 years with Xun Er in the heavenly tomb. The companionship of these 3 years had made him accustomed to having her by his side. However, tomorrow, he would leave again, and the next time they meet would be unknown. "Brother Xiao Yan," just as Xiao Yan sighed lightly, a soft voice suddenly sounded from behind him, and then a peerless face appeared in front of him. "I have something to tell you," looking at Xun Er, Xiao Yan suddenly said hesitantly. Xun Er asked, "Is it about the matter of Kailin?" "You know?" Xiao Yan asked in surprise. Xun Er nodded and said in a low voice, "I can't rest assured when you are alone, so I need to know the news about you before I can be at ease. Moreover, with my status in the Gu clan, there will be people who will take the initiative to send me information related to you, including the situation of Kailin." Xiao Yan said a bit speechless. "Ah, this matter." When he saw Xiao Yan's clumsy appearance at this time, Xun Er shook her head slowly and said, "At first, I was also a bit angry, but I couldn't forget you. Since I don't want to forget, I have to endure it. But this matter can't be too cheap for you." Just as Xun Er's last word just fell, she suddenly opened her small mouth and bit fiercely on Xiao Yan's chest. "See if you dare to be a flirt in the future." After a long time, Xun Er let go of her mouth, raised her pretty face, and pretended to be fierce. At this time, Xiao Yan looked at her with fiery eyes. Just as his hand was about to take the next action, suddenly there was a light cough, which made Xiao Yan and Xun Er separate like an electric shock. Their gazes turned to the direction of the sound, and they saw a middle-aged man dressed in ordinary clothes standing not far away, and that face was none other than the patriarch of the Gu clan, also the father of Xun Er, Gu Yuan. When Xun Er saw Gu Yuan, her already flushed cheeks became even redder, and then she hurriedly hid into the room. Gu Yuan looked at Xiao Yan's embarrassed expression, then looked at the quiet bamboo house, and could only sigh. "Have you seen Xiao Xian?" Gu Yuan walked slowly towards Xiao Yan and said lightly. Xiao Yan was slightly stunned, hesitated for a moment, and replied, "I have seen him." Gu Yuan sensed the blood power in Xiao Yan's body, which should be the last one of the Xiao clan. Gu Yuan sighed, "Xiao Xian can reach this step, which is really not easy. In order to preserve the last blood power of the Xiao clan, he would rather turn himself into such a state." Then he waved his hand and said, "You are going to leave tomorrow, and don't forget the promise you made to me. Xun Er's blood is very important to the Gu clan. If something goes wrong, even if Gu Yuan doesn't take action, some old guys will be furious." Hearing this, Xiao Yan nodded awkwardly. Gu Yuan continued, "Well, it's getting late. You should rest early." Seeing this, Gu Yuan nodded slightly, and his figure gradually faded and disappeared. Looking at the place where Gu Yuan disappeared, Xiao Yan sighed. The next day, when the morning light sprinkled on this vast and endless space, the mountains that had been silent for a night became lively again. When the two arrived at the mountains, there were already several huge warships suspended in the air, halfway up the mountain. Xiao Yan's gaze swept around and saw many familiar figures. Chuang Quanlin and other outstanding figures of the younger generation of the Gu clan were also here, but at the moment when they saw Xiao Yan, their eyes clearly revealed some avoidance and fear. As more and more people arrived, the warships in the sky made a humming horn, obviously about to start sending them away from the realm of the Gu clan. When Xiao Yan was about to say goodbye to Xun Er, a figure suddenly appeared in the air. Xiao Yan took a look and found that this person was actually Yao Xingji from the Yao clan. He frowned slightly and said lightly, "Is there something?" Seeing Xiao Yan's plain expression, Yao Xingji curled his mouth, feeling a bit uncomfortable in his heart. But considering Xiao Yan's current strength, he didn't say any sarcastic words, flicked his finger, and a jade slip of emerald color flew towards Xiao Yan. "This is the Yao clan's family ceremony invitation. Don't frown in a hurry, your teacher will need it." He understood what the Yao clan's family ceremony represented, no matter whether he had any complaints about the Yao clan. But he believed that he would come. Xiao Yan took the jade slip, stared at Yao Xingji for a moment, did not return it, but put it into the storage ring, and then saluted him and said, "I didn't have the chance to compete with you in the art of refining this time. I hope there will be a chance next time." Yao Xingji clenched his fist. Subsequently, Xiao Yan turned his gaze to Xun Er and said, "Xun Er, it's time. I should go." Without delay, he turned into a ray of light, freely boarded a warship, and finally disappeared in the sight of everyone. In the Star Realm space of the Falling Star Pavilion, the disciples of the Falling Star Pavilion were training neatly on the square. Their loud shouts gathered together, echoing like thunder in this space. Compared with before, the Star Realm has almost been completely renewed. The originally steep mountains were opened up, and a group of buildings were built, with people coming and going, very lively. In the huge mountain in the center of the Star Realm, a powerful atmosphere was filled. However, suddenly a stream of light with extremely fierce momentum flew from the distance, heading straight for the main peak in the center of the Star Realm. Who dares to break in the Star Realm? When the stream of light appeared, an angry drink immediately came from the Star Realm. Then some old figures hovered in the sky, and then they shouted angrily in unison, "Condense!" As soon as the voice fell, the space in the sky quickly solidified. However, when everyone thought that the figure would stop, they were surprised to see that the stream of light not only did not stop, but also accelerated and easily broke through the solidified space, appearing behind those old men like a ghost. Xiao Yan said, "Haha, I haven't been back for half a year, and I didn't expect the defense to be so tight." Under the attention of many people, a young man in black clothes with flowing black hair slowly appeared, smiling lightly. The movement in the sky attracted the attention of the disciples who were training on the ground. They looked at Xiao Yan in the sky in surprise and expressed their amazement. This was the first time they saw more than a dozen guest elders working together and not getting the upper hand. Faced with the puzzled eyes of these elders, Xiao Yan smiled helplessly. He was only away for half a year, and almost no one recognized him. Just as Xiao Yan was helpless, several old figures finally appeared on the main peak. When they saw Xiao Yan, they were first stunned, and then they were overjoyed and exclaimed, "Young Master Xiao Yan of the Falling Star Pavilion, you are back?" Hearing this joyful voice, more than a dozen guest elders of the Falling Star Pavilion and many disciples were stunned, and then they looked at Xiao Yan in disbelief. Xiao Yan's reputation in the Falling Star Pavilion is not low, but they have not been here for a long time, so today is the first time they have seen him. Xiao Yan smiled slightly, glanced around the space, and a trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. In just half a year, the Falling Star Pavilion has undergone earth-shaking changes. With so many strong people guarding, even the Soul Hall cannot easily invade. When Xiao Yan was looking around the Star Realm, the space behind him fluctuated, and then an old figure slowly appeared, which was Yao Lao. "Haha, you are finally back." Seeing Yao Lao, Xiao Yan hurriedly saluted respectfully and said, "I have seen the head of the pavilion." When Yao Lao appeared, the guest elders next to him also saluted respectfully. Yao Lao does not usually appear often, so in the eyes of these guest elders, he is a very mysterious existence. I didn't expect that today, when the young master appeared, he actually personally came to receive him. I went to the Gu clan, and you have become more refined. Yao Lao laughed and shook his head, waved to the guest elders, then his eyes swept around Xiao Yan, and he said with some satisfaction, "Not bad, not bad. In just half a year, you have been promoted from a 5-star Dou Zun to an 8-star Dou Zun. It seems that the harvest this time is not small. Let's go down first. I have been waiting for you to come back for a long time." Xiao Yan nodded, then looked around, frowned slightly and said, "Teacher, hasn't Xiao Yixian and the others come back yet?" Yao Lao explained, "They came back, but they left again." Xiao Yan asked, "Where did they go again?" Yao Lao continued, "This is also the reason for waiting for you. Not long after you entered the so-called Heavenly Tomb, we received some intelligence, so we let Xiao Yixian and the others come back quickly. Then they rushed to the Jiama Empire." Jiama Empire. Xiao Yan was stunned when he heard this familiar name, and then his face suddenly changed dramatically. Yao Lao nodded and said, "There is something wrong with the Yin alliance. It should be said that the whole Northwest continent is in trouble." "What happened?" Xiao Yan asked. "The Northwest continent is not as strong as the Central Plains, where there are many strong people. Although there are many sects and empires there, they have always been in conflict. Although there are some not weak forces that want to unify the Northwest continent, they have not been successful. Moreover, the so-called not weak forces there are only at the level of first-class forces in the Central Plains. Speaking of which, it is not stronger than the power of the 4 pavilions. Originally, there was no big turmoil on the Northwest continent, but a sect called the Lion Abyss sect suddenly began a large-scale conquest a year ago. No one could defeat their strong people. In less than half a year, nearly half of the Northwest continent fell under its control. The Lion Abyss sect ranks in the top 10 on the Northwest continent. Although it is strong, it is not invincible. However, this time their strength has soared, and some extremely powerful, mysterious, strong people have also appeared. Soul Palace? Xiao Yan frowned and asked tentatively. Yao Lao nodded and said, "According to the information returned, there are indeed many strong people from the Soul Palace in the Lion Abyss sect. And the Soul Palace caused a big war on the Northwest continent, should be for the Soul Body. The forces in the Central Plains are complicated, and even the Soul Palace dares not easily start a big war. The power of the Soul Palace is enough to dominate a one-sided war, and they only need to appear afterwards to get countless soul bodies." After a moment of silence, Yao Lao sighed lightly, "But I don't know the specific conspiracy of their collection of soul bodies." Hearing Yao Lao's sigh, Xiao Yan's heart became heavy for some reason. Although it is not clear about the real intention of the Soul Palace, it can be determined that they are planning a huge conspiracy, otherwise why collect so many soul bodies? Xiao Yan said angrily, "What on earth does the Soul Clan want to do?" Yao Lao glanced at Xiao Yan and said, "As for your Yin alliance, in the years since you left, it has grown into one of the top 3 powerful alliances in the Northwest continent, thanks to the efforts of Medusa and others. Under normal circumstances, the Lion Abyss sect is no match for the Yin alliance, but unfortunately, the Soul Hall has emerged. A few months ago, the influence of the Yin alliance shrank significantly, and it had to gradually retreat to the Jiama Empire. At that time, upon receiving the intelligence, Little Fairy Doctor and the others immediately set out for the Jiama Empire. Qing Lin also went along, as the situation of the Heavenly Serpent Mansion was also precarious. When they left, I dispatched some strong members of the Falling Star Pavilion to follow, but I'm afraid it might still be difficult to turn the tide." Xiao Yan nodded slightly and clenched his fist, saying, "It seems I must return as well." The Yin alliance included Medusa, his elder and younger brothers, and all the members of the Xiao family, so when the Yin alliance encountered such a great trouble, he had to make an appearance. Yao Lao was not surprised by Xiao Yan's words and nodded slightly, saying, "When you go to the Jiama Empire, I will send some elders of the Falling Star Pavilion who have reached the level of 5-star Dou Zun to accompany you. As for the Falling Star Pavilion, I will personally stay to guard against the Soul Hall's strategy of luring us away." Yao Lao smiled and continued, "Don't rush to leave today. The Central Plains and the Northwest continent are too far apart, and if you fly back, it will take more than 2 months, so a space wormhole must be constructed. If successful, the Falling Star Pavilion will be able to establish a passage to the Northwest continent in the future. After you take over the Falling Star Pavilion, we can fully unite with the Yin Alliance." Xiao Yan nodded without refusal. Suddenly he remembered something, took out the Emerald King's note that Yao Xingji had given him from his storage ring, and handed it to Yao Lao. "This is the Yao clan's family ceremony invitation. They asked me to pass it on to you." Upon hearing the words, "family ceremony," Yao Lao's hand trembled slightly. After a long while, he took a deep breath, accepted the jade note, and finally put it into his storage ring, whispering, "Let's not worry about this for now. Let's focus on establishing the wormhole first." Xiao Yan nodded slightly. Although Yao Lao did not show much change on the surface, he could feel that Yao Lao's heart was not calm. After returning to the Falling Star Pavilion, Xiao Yan's days became much more relaxed. He stayed in the Ling realm all day, occasionally appearing to instruct the disciples of the Falling Star Pavilion. Because Yao Lao valued the talent of a disciple named Yuewen, but he did not want to take on more disciples, he entrusted this task to Xiao Yan, who took on a disciple in name only. When 3 days passed, Xiao Yan rushed to the back mountain of the Ling realm again, and a black hole about 10 zhang in size slowly appeared on the stone platform at the top of the mountain. A powerful spatial force gushed out from it continuously and then quickly spread out. Master, did it work? Xiao Yan appeared not far from the wormhole, looking at the old figure in front of him and said joyfully. Yao Lao smiled and nodded. When do we set off? Xiao Yan asked. Yao Lao said, the space wormhole has just been successfully constructed and it's not very stable yet, and in these few days, I think we should probably find some other helpers. Other helpers? Xiao Yan frowned. The people who can be useful must be strong enough to reach the level of Dou Zun. But the Falling Star Pavilion has already sent out more than a dozen guest elders. Where can we find others? Hee, you forgot the appeal of an alchemist. I have already sent out the news, 3 8th tier pills for each person. As for which color of pill thunder the 8th tier pills have depends on individual strength and contribution. Yao Lao smiled slyly. I believe many people will come, and then you will take them to the northwest continent to crush the Lion Abyss sect and settle the matter quickly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan could only nod. In that case, let's wait and see for a few days. In the days following the construction of the space wormhole, the Ling realm suddenly became lively, all because of the invitation issued by Yao Lao. 3 8th tier pills are very attractive to those strong people. Some strong people from the sects did not dare to accept the invitation easily for various reasons, but there were many independent cultivators in the Central Plains who were strong and free. So after receiving this invitation, they did not hesitate much and rushed directly to the Falling Star Pavilion. Because of that invitation, the Falling Star Pavilion was bustling for 3 full days. During these 3 days, Yao Lao personally selected 20 strong people, each with strength above the 3-star Dou Zun level, among which 3 even reached the level of 8-star Dou Zun, only slightly weaker than Xiao Yan. 3 days later, at the back mountain of the Ling realm, dozens of figures hovered in the air, exuding a powerful aura. Everyone, I believe you all know the purpose of our trip. After arriving at the northwest continent, I hope you can follow my arrangements. Xiao Yan said with a faint smile. Don't worry, young master. The power of a barbaric place is not to be feared. The 20 invited strong people also nodded with a smile at Xiao Yan's words. Although Xiao Yan is younger than them, the aura he exudes makes them know that this young man's strength surpasses them. Therefore, they do not have much objection to Xiao Yan's command. Don't worry, young master. We have accepted the invitation of the master of the Medicine Pavilion and naturally will not change our minds halfway. After all, we have only received half of the reward. A red-faced old man said with a lead smile. This old man is the strongest among the 20 people, reaching the level of 8-star Dou Zun. It is worth mentioning that the other 2 strong people who reached the 8-star level are actually his brothers. Since they were born, the 3 have practiced together with a very high tacit understanding. The 3 of them can fight against a 9-star Dou Zun strong person when they join hands, and their strength is very strong. After the words fell, Xiao Yan turned to Yao Lao and said, let's set off. These people are just invited, and you don't have to trust them completely. As for these 10 guest elders, you can trust them. They know more about the northwest continent than you. Yao Lao nodded, then pointed to the 10 old men wearing the robes of the Falling Star Pavilion and whispered. Seeing these 10 guest elders, Xiao Yan sighed in his heart. Yao Lao took almost half of the fighting power of the Falling Star Pavilion this time. But with him personally sitting in the town, there should be no problem. With these guest elders, they have a total of more than 30 people, and all of these more than 30 people are Dou Zun level strong people. Thinking of this, Xiao Yan has a strange feeling, even in the Central Plains, such a lineup is also a very strong existence. Seeing everyone ready to go, Yao Lao walked out with a smile, and a faint suction force spread out. Xiao Yan, this is the wormhole scroll. The coordinates on the other side have not been determined yet, and you just need to find a safe place to tear it open after you arrive to form a channel and permanently connect it here. Yao Lao flicked his finger, and a black scroll flew towards Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan took the scroll and put it into his storage ring, then looked at the rotating wormhole, took a deep breath, and waved his hand and said, Big brother, second brother in the Jiama Empire. I'm back again. When the great disaster came, Everyone in the Yin alliance placed their hopes on Xiao Yan, and even Xiao Yan's daughter Xiao Xiao firmly believed, Dad will definitely come back.